What do you think of the question one of the audience members asked about where we should stand on Israel?
Come on, Megan.
It's fine. I know you've got different views on this, but that's fine. I think people want to hear that. They want to hear the different views.
Well, no. I think it's. I mean, so I have one particular story that started to change the way that I thought about Israel. As someone who grew up, again, I grew up like Missouri Synod Lutheran, so we may be LCMS, but very like low church evangelical culture, and so. Left Behind books, The Rapture, all of that fun stuff, and never questioned it that much, never questioned that sort of dispensationalist reading of Scripture. And the story of a Christian American journalist named Shireen Abu Akleh, who was killed in, I think it was the West Bank, and this was like 2021. That story really piqued my interest. I used to have a rule with Ryan that I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. For every one story we covered about Israel, I would make him cover a story about trans athletes.
Did we win him over on that issue?
Yeah. I don't know, actually, that's a good question.
No, okay.
We don't talk about it that much because after October 7th, we did so much Israel coverage. And when she was killed, I started asking some people I really trusted on the right, because I had to cover the story. What's going on here? Like, this seems weird. It looks like she was targeted. What's happening? And what I heard made a lot of sense to me, which is the IDF has no reason to do this. Why would the IDF do this? And I saw the Biden administration basically taking the Israeli government's propaganda and regurgitating it. And I really didn't like being lied to about an American, about a Christian, and about a journalist's death. And eventually, the IDF came out and said, this was our mistake. But it took weeks, and they pretty clearly knew it right away. I mean, it's almost impossible to imagine they didn't know it right away. You could actually see the bullet pattern behind the tree that she was shot in front of. And after that, it just sort of, the paradigm shifted for me as to how I evaluated these stories. And I still think, you know this better than anyone right now. You just said you're pro-Israel. I, too, am pro-Israel. And even saying that isn't enough sometimes. So I think people underestimate the degree to which just that in and of itself has created skepticism because people really don't like our government regurgitating foreign propaganda and then being told you can't question it.
Yeah, no, look at how much we rip on our own government. We rip on our own government all the time. We rip on it whether Trump's in there. We certainly ripped on it a lot when Biden was in there. You can rip on our government, and we do all the time. Israel's certainly fair game.
Oh, yeah.
They're not even our government. Why can't we rip on Israel? We absolutely can rip on Israel. Ripping on Israel is a fine thing to do. Doesn't mean, in my view, you don't go so far as to say, I'm an anti-Zionist and they can't exist. Like, that's crazy town. But I really strongly reject the attempts to stifle the criticism against them because they spent a long time trying to tell us, you can criticize Israel at the beginning of this war, just don't be anti-Semitic. Okay, got it. And then as soon as many of us started to get more critical of Israel, it was, you're an anti-Semite. Well, no, we're not going to play that game.
Oh my gosh. And the Israeli media is more critical of Israel than sometimes the American media is. Like, it's incredible. Like, following the Israeli media after October 7th has been like very eye-opening as well, because their conversations are actually much more like big picture and broad and include a more diverse array of voices.
Yes.
So
well, I mean, look, it's not like our media has figured out the perfect formula either.
No, that's for sure.
And speaking of that, I want to ask you about what's happening at the White House and the Reno.
Ooh.
The media has lost its ever-loving mind. I have my notes here because I wanted to read exactly what they're saying. Okay, Maria Shriver, you know her, she's Kennedy. It breaks my heart and infuriates me. The addition of a ballroom. Why is she so worked up? Hillary Rodham Clinton. It's not his house, it's our house, and he's destroying it. And what does she do? She starts selling hats with that on it to make money off of the White House yet again. Not such a grifter. The bulwark, which exists only to bring down Trump, as soon as a Democrat gets in there, the addition must be razed, R-A-Z-E-D, must be completely demolished, and any sign of Trump's ballroom must be gotten rid of. The media doesn't talk about all the reno. that has been done by so many other presidents in the past, and by Obama's nearly $400 million reno, which is less than what Trump is doing, or the fact that we didn't have an adequate space for like dignitaries to gather and have a celebration inside the White House. And then I'll give you one more. Gretchen Carlson, who I used to work with at Fox. She gets out there and she's like, I was there when they signed the sexual harassment, whatever, in the East Room, and now it's been demolished.
Indelible in the hippocampus.
So no, the East Room is part of the main White House. Like when you walk in the front door, the northern entry, it's one of those rooms where they still hold ceremonies all the time. Not to be confused with the East Wing, which only has a couple of offices supposed to be used by the First Lady. They are two entirely different things. But these are the people who are supposed to be our media betters, educating us about how bad Trump is and why it's terrible what he's doing.
The New York Times had an amazing story on this, where they tried to cite examples of the history that the East Wing means to the country, all of the history that's taken place in the East Wing, which was built, I think, in 1902 under Teddy Roosevelt. So people in general, I think the White House is much older than it is. A lot of it is pretty new, but the Times story, I'm telling you this is true. The three examples they cite: first, they say the East Wing, where Bill Clinton used to meet with Dick Morris without his staff knowing.
The White House's latest additions to its website, you're saying?
No, this is actually, that is incredible too. But the New York Times really was like, God rest the East Wing. This is where Bill Clinton used to meet with Dick Morris without his staff noting. Their second example is that this is where Dick Cheney was rushed away on 9/11, and their third example is it's where Donald Trump was taken during 2020 protests. It's like, these are the three examples you could come up with of the reverent, sacred East Wing history. Dick fucking Morris? Are you kidding me?
I believe it's dickmorris.com.
Oh, yes.
Dickmorris.com.
Yes.
Wait, so that actually reminds me, this is also on my notes, which I laughed at, because the White House added something to its website today because they wanted to underscore the historic nature of the White House. And here it is. Hold on, you've got to hear this. So they put up a major events timeline on the White House website, and it now includes sections detailing all the renovations over the decades, and also the following. 1998. Bill Clinton's affair with intern Monica Lewinsky.
It's on whitehouse.gov. Like, you can look it up.
President Bill Clinton's affair with intern Monica Lewinsky was exposed, leading to White House perjury investigation. The Oval Office trysts fueled impeachment for obstruction. 2012, Obama hosting members of the Muslim Brotherhood. 2023, Hunter Biden losing his cocaine in the White House.
So good.
There's nobody better at trolling than the Trump White House. Nobody. And you want to talk history? Let's talk history. We love the historic nature of the White House.
You missed the best entry on the timeline, which is the Trans Day of Visibility.
Yes.
Did you see that one?
Yes, that tranny showing off his boobs on the front of the White House lawn.
And they put that on whitehouse.gov as part of the tour of historical moments.
Can never be disturbed.
No.
But honestly, this all goes back to the media and how if it weren't for people like you in independent media, people wouldn't know these facts. The media is not telling you any of that stuff about the prior renovations of the White House, or how this is actually not a big deal, and how Obama spent a lot more on his reno than Trump did on his for something that no one really cared about. And it is thanks to independent media that you already know a lot of this. You came in knowing a lot of this. And so it's the antidote, the media has driven people crazy. I think it's had a big role in radicalizing the left and causing this tendency towards political violence. And the antidote, yes, is what we're doing here tonight and what you guys are doing by listening to these shows and what we're doing in independent media to counteract all the lies. Buy gold and get free silver. That's right. For every $5,000 purchased from Birch Gold Group this month in advance of Veterans Day, they will send you a free patriotic silver round that commemorates the Gadsden and American flags. Look, gold is up over 40% since the beginning of this year, and Birch Gold can help you own it by converting an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. Plus, they'll send you free silver honoring our veterans on qualifying purchases. And if you are current or former military, Birch Gold has a special offer just for you. They are waiving custodial fees for the first year on investments of any amount. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider diversifying your savings into gold. Text MK to the number 989898 for a free info kit and to claim your eligibility for free silver with qualifying purchase before the end of the month. Again, text MK to the number 989898. Message and data rates may apply. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.